Anthony Hartwig here with a West Branch Lady Warriors basketball profile. I'm joined by senior Jillian Pidgeon. Jill, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And before we talk basketball, we got to talk soccer because you're signed on to play at the next level. I know that's probably a goal you've had for a while. What did it feel like to kind of finally sign on that dotted line and finally kind of reach that goal for yourself?
Yeah, it was definitely a hard decision. One of the hardest decisions that I've had to make, looking at different colleges, knowing what to look for. But I really honestly never thought I'd go to Mount Union because it was so close to home. But when I went and visited there, everyone made me feel welcome, and I loved the campus. And I really felt like it's going to be a good place for me.
What was, you said all the deciding factors, but when you were narrowing it down, was there one moment that made you know Mount Union was the place you wanted to go?
Um, the girls reaching out to me was very helpful, and the coach was very supportive, always checking in on me, not always just in soccer, but wishing me good holidays and just everything. They were very supportive, just such a good system they have there.
And now that you are signed, you know where you're going. Does that make it easier to kind of mentally focus on completely basketball and the rest of your senior season, not having to worry about where you're going or where you're going to be next year?
Yes, definitely. I always thought about basketball and soccer. Everyone's like, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? I'm like, I don't have a favorite. I love them both. But basketball's still up there with soccer. And even though that I'm committed, basketball's always going to be my main focus during basketball season.
What's the transition like as a multi-sport athlete going from soccer season right to basketball season?
It is very tough. Just usually in the off season, I try to work out and do that stuff. But since soccer, you do a lot of running, it's kind of easier when we go to basketball because we have to run the timed mile at the beginning. So I feel like soccer helps me a lot stay conditioned for basketball. But other than that, not much.
What does being a multi-sport athlete kind of do to help you prepare not just for the athletic stuff and the conditioning, but also time management and all the things that you'll need next year to be successful at the next level?
Yeah, I feel like time management is a big part of it. I think it really helps me in my academics. Coming home from school, doing your homework, and then either shooting around or like staying after practice. I feel like you just have these responsibilities that you have to focus on before you. And I feel like playing at the next level is going to help me more in college, obviously getting your work done all the time and then focusing on your soccer game, obviously.
Now, before we venture into this basketball season, we have to talk about how last year's season ended. From your perspective, and what was it like going through that moment and having the euphoria of being at a state championship and then obviously the letdown of being called off the floor and being told the game was canceled?
Yeah, it was very emotional in the locker room when we got called back to the locker room. We're like, oh, we usually don't go in there another time. We're like, this is kind of odd, but there was nothing really running through our heads at the time. Like I talked to the girls and we're like, we thought we were playing that game for sure. I felt for our seniors. Obviously, I had another year. This is my senior year, but the connection that we all had with those seniors was very emotional. I can't imagine being in their shoes, making it that far. And that was obviously all of our goals was to make it to state. And we really felt confident in that game. And then being ripped off the floor and told that we're done like there was no hope. We're always like, well, can we play next weekend? There was nothing. I mean, and walking out and having our community there to support us. I mean, they were very supportive, but I definitely felt for those seniors and the rest of the girls on their team because we worked so hard for it. It was just very emotional.
When we talked to Coach DeShields earlier, he said he wanted to be the first ones to tell you guys. He thought that was really important. What did it mean to you to hear that message directly from the coach and not from an OHSA official or maybe the PA announcer? Just hear that directly from Coach DeShields before you heard it from anybody else.
Yeah, I definitely would have rather heard it from him, for my personal opinion, just because I felt like he was there for us along the whole ride. So he understands kind of how he knew how we were going to react. I mean, it would have drawn a lot of attention if official or someone would have told us in the gym, but I'm glad he did it in the locker room because I mean, everyone just broke down and it was kind of a a shock for all of us in the locker room. Like, we were all there for each other and very supportive.
That was a senior-led team. You lost a lot of pieces, but coming back this year, how hungry did that moment make you guys this season to kind of get back there and to have just as much success as you did last year?
Yeah, we got our seniors together this year and we're like, we're doing it for our seniors. Like, this is what we're doing it for. A lot of people look down upon us now because we've lost so many seniors, but this senior group, and we've played together since we were little. So we know we have this connection between us to where we have this confidence and we know we can play together. So we're just trying to do that for that senior group and build these relationships with these girls. And that's what it's all about.
The lineup has definitely changed between last year to this year. 4 starters gone, people stepping up into bigger roles. What's it been like seeing this team kind of gel into their roles this year as we've gone on? We're past the halfway mark now.
Yeah, I feel like Coach has talked to us about, he sat each one of us down and talked about our each individual role that we need to play this year. And I feel like everyone has stepped up to that role. And whether it's even from cheering on the bench to scoring every game. I mean, every girl has to play their role, and we're doing a very good job of that so far. And I feel like that is very important because it's built some confidence for us. And I feel like we're starting to get that run where we're used to playing with each other now, and we're finally falling all into the pieces that we need to play. And I feel like we're starting to play really well.
You personally, you scored 21 last week and you were in double figures Monday. Do you feel like now that you're in like the second half of the season, you're starting to find a real offensive rhythm and starting to find real confidence in your shot and starting to feel really good heading into tournaments?
Yeah, I feel like our guards and our posts, like all of us on the floor, are always looking for the extra pass. And that's what will make not only my shots come, but everyone's shots come. And some people say that we move the ball really well. So I feel like us moving the ball well gets open shots for just about everyone, and everyone's starting to score. So that's what's really helping for us. Our defense will come, and then I feel like that's what will bring our offensive game.
Yeah, and you said a defense. I mean, you guys have won a lot of games just on your defense alone, holding people down. How much pride does this team take in their defensive effort and what they can do on the defensive end of the floor?
Yeah, defense is definitely a big thing around West Branch, and our goal every single game is to hold a team under 40 points. And if we're at like 30 at halftime, our goal is 10 points or less after half. And we believe that's what we can do. And then, yeah, that's just our main goal, is to hold teams to 40 points or less.
You've had a couple of losses inside the EBC. It's a really tough conference this year with Marlington doing what they're doing, Salem doing what they're doing. What do you think the losses that you have had this season have taught you guys and helped you guys move forward? Because, when tournaments start, the records go away, the losses go away, and it's all about where you are now. So what if those losses taught you guys and helped you guys grow in?
Yeah, I feel like losing those EBC games, because we weren't used to it last year. I mean, we won the EBC, so we were kind of expecting that we were going to build off that confidence. And losing 3 EBC games so far has really shocked us. And I feel like it honestly, that we can get a positive out of it. It's like just showing us that we have to work harder and that we have to all, like I said, fall into our roles and start playing together and not blame anything on each other. And I feel like we're really good at that.
And you have one more game against Salem. How important is that game to kind of send a message to not just the EBC and the rest of the tournament, but to yourselves that you're on that level, you can play with those teams, and you'll be fine going into the tournaments?
Yeah, I feel like losing to them, not only just losing to them, but losing to them at our place at home really, I mean, has just made us want to go to their place and put them away. And I feel like since we played them since we were little and since we were all in high school, I feel like we're going to also want to do it for the seniors last year and show them that we can do it. And I feel like it's just going to take a lot of playing together and moving the ball on offense like we do and then our defensive game and our offense will come.
And you've said it, you have a good senior class, but there are also some young kids that have stepped up this year and helped you guys. What's it been like seeing the young kids gel with the veterans and just have a good cohesive team effort?
Yeah, we have a lot of actual freshmen playing, which is really good for us because that means in the future we could have some really good teams. But I feel like as a senior, just being a leader and trying to be there for them, not only with basketball, but it could be anything. Like if they text us, hey, what time's practice, or anything with school, I feel like having that trust on any of our seniors makes us play better because we feel like we have a better relationship with them. Yeah, so I feel like that'll build into our basketball game.
And you're a senior leader now. What have the seniors that come before you taught you about your leadership to help you kind of step into that leadership role this year?
I feel like it's not about always vocally leading. I feel like proving yourself on the floor and what you do will make players listen to you when you're speaking. And all of that's about like eye contact and just showing on the floor that you're giving 110% all the time.
Let's talk about your coach, one of the most respected girls coaches in the area. What's it like being under Coach DeShields, and what's it like being on a program that has that high standard of excellence?
Yeah, Coach Shields is a really good coach, and we all have this connection with him because in the summer we usually go on like basketball camps, like in North Carolina, and I feel like um, with Coach DeShields, we all have that relationship with him where we can honestly go to him with anything throughout the school day. You always see girls in and out of his room, and I feel like he's very supportive for us. When he's talking, we're listening, and when he gets frustrated, we know that we need to kick it up and focus on practice. And I feel like he is a very good leader, and you can tell at practice all the girls are in all the time and we're always listening to him.
And he gets a lot of the praise, but what about the assistants and the coaching staff? Just talk about what they do behind the scenes and some of the unsung work that the whole coaching staff gets to do.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like they don't get a lot of credit too, but there's some things where they're either, on the bench with the stats, they're yelling at Coach DeShields where who has fouls, who has fouls. They're very supportive, whether it's out of a timeout. They're always in your ear about something and you're listening, which is very helpful because sometimes you don't know when you're playing a game and there's 5 seconds left or something. But yeah, they're such a good support system and they all work great together.
What's it like walking into West Branch's gym and seeing the history that the girls program has and just realizing that you're a part of that and that you can continue it?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a tradition, and I feel like our standards are held very high, which is good for us because we do not take losing easy, but we just know we have to learn from it. And I feel like, walking into West Branch and losing is just a thing that we don't take well. And I feel like we've learned a lot of lessons this year from it, and we know that winning is the excitement of winning and the excitement of just whether it's districts, regionals, or even going to state, you know what you have to do and how you have to get the job done.
What were some personal goals you set for yourself before the season started that you wanted to meet this basketball season?
I wanted to be a better leader. Not always, that doesn't mean like being a captain. That means like being there because I knew we were going to have younger girls that were playing for us. And I was just going to try to build the relationships with the younger girls to where they could come for me, like I said, whether it's basketball related or not, and proving myself that if like working hard and showing yourself on the floor, that doesn't mean you're always the best player, but just showing that the younger kids and you can be there for them.
Do you think now that we're almost, at the end of the season, you've done a really good job of stepping up like that and being the leader that you want to be?
So far so good. I think it all takes confidence. It's just vocally like communicating with your teammates and just making sure that everyone's on the same page, whether it's knowing what defense or offense we're in, just everyone communicating and talking on the floor is a big part of it.
All right, so you're an athlete at the elite level. Do you have any superstitions or pregame routines that you have to stick to or you feel kind of off?
No, the only thing that we do as a basketball team, which is not really what many teams do, is we all write something on our wrist in Sharpie, and everyone is like, oh, do you have a tattoo? Do you have a tattoo? We're like, no, we all write like what we need to work on that game, whether it's box out, defense, hard work, like everyone puts something different. And I feel like that we're always like, oh, we didn't write it on our wrist this game, but we try to do that absolutely every game, the JV and the varsity.
What's your favorite pre or post? Because I've had girls say I don't eat anything before a pregame or postgame meal that you kind of is your go-to.
Pre-game, I don't even know if I have any. I don't have any pre-game or post-game. I just eat whatever. I just try to. I pre-game. I do eat Subway. I love
There you
Subway.
go.
Post-game, I don't have any.
What's the go-to Subway order? I mean, like, what's your good sandwich?
A ham and cheese sandwich for sure.
The sandwich of champions, I'm sure.
Yeah, every game.
What about your kind of pump up playlist, the songs that kind of get you going? What's your playlist look like?
I get on my Apple Music and I put every single one of my songs on shuffle. I don't really prefer any specific song or playlist, but I just put my whole playlist on shuffle.
Okay, if you had to look back on your 4 years with this basketball program, what are some of the favorite memories you have with the team on or off the court?
Definitely going to state last year. That was something that I've never felt before after um, winning regionals in the final. Like that was the moment of all of our faces, and the emotions was just pure excitement, and we knew that we got it, and we knew we were headed to Columbus. I mean, the locker room, but um, all of the summer activities that we did, we did get to obviously do that this year, but we traveled like North Carolina. I mean, we go to all of these places, and we went to the beach, Virginia Beach. I mean, just memories that were made with these girls were truly awesome.
I'm sure those trips do a whole lot for team chemistry. Without those this summer and leading up to the season and even during the season, what kind of things have you done to keep team chemistry kind of tight knit?
I feel like it's definitely doing things outside of basketball. A lot of girls are like, well, let's just do this, let's just do this. But we're always like, well, what's everyone doing after practice? We have an off day. Does everyone want to get together? I mean, we always have, and we include everybody. I mean, if we think a few girls want to go to like Starbucks, we write on the board, everyone who wants to go to Starbucks, or like, no, I feel like everyone's always included, and that's always a big, important part of it.
And last thing before we let you go, just what makes you proud to be at West Branch, to represent their colors, and to be a part of that school system?
Yeah, being a West Branch Girls basketball Lady Warrior, I feel like it's all about tradition. And I feel like we're not just about basketball, it's about the life lessons and the relationships that you make. And I feel like the coaches do a really good job at that. And it's all about like the lessons that you learn and how to move on from it. And I feel like this year we have all those connections and relationships that have been built. And I feel like we're doing really well at that, and our confidence is being built, so that'll help us move on throughout tournaments.
All right, Jillian, thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck the rest of the season, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yes, thank you for having me.